Top 10 Most Bizarre Punishments in History Across All Nations. History is full of strange, terrifying, and downright bizarre punishments. Ways societies controlled behavior that seem almost impossible to imagine today. From public humiliation to social death, these punishments reveal the extremes of human justice. In this video, we explore the top 10 most bizarre punishments in history across all nations. Some so shocking, you won't believe they really existed. Let's dive in. 10. The Mask of Shame, Medieval Europe. In medieval Europe, criminals were sometimes forced to wear metal masks shaped like animals or demons. These masks were designed to humiliate, not injure, and were used for offenses like lying, gossiping, or minor social crimes. Offenders were paraded through towns while the public mocked them. The punishment relied on embarrassment and social stigma rather than physical pain, and the humiliation often lasted long after the mask was removed. In a society where honor mattered deeply, being publicly shamed was a powerful deterrent. 9. The Duck Stool, England and Scotland. In medieval Britain, women accused of gossiping or disturbing the peace were subjected to the duck stool. They were tied to a chair attached to a long beam and repeatedly lowered into water in front of the village crowd. This punishment humiliated the accused while sending a strong message to the community. Even though it did not inflict lasting physical harm, the social stigma could ruin reputations permanently. It reinforced authority and social order through fear and public spectacle. 8. Forced silence, Ancient China. In certain periods of ancient China, speaking against authority or publicly criticizing officials could lead to a punishment of forced silence. Offenders were forbidden to speak in public, attend gatherings, or teach, and breaking the silence often resulted in harsher consequences. The punishment relied entirely on psychological and social pressure, isolating the offender and diminishing their influence. In a society where social harmony and respect for hierarchy were essential, losing one's voice was a deeply effective form of control. For more incredible stories from history. 7. The public stocks, Ancient Rome and colonial America. The stocks were wooden frames used to secure the hands and feet of petty criminals in public squares. Passers-by could stare, mock, or throw harmless objects at the offender. This form of punishment relied on humiliation and psychological stress rather than physical pain. It allowed authorities to maintain social order without prisons or violence, while also teaching the community about acceptable behavior. The embarrassment often caused long-lasting damage to reputation, reinforcing societal norms through public judgment. 6. The cage punishment, medieval Germany. In medieval Germany, serious criminals were sometimes placed in iron cages and displayed in public squares. The punishment relied on visibility and fear rather than direct harm. Passers-by would see the offender, and the display served as a warning to the community. Isolation and psychological pressure were the primary effects, while authorities maintained order without constant supervision. The cage symbolized both authority and societal condemnation, leaving a lasting impression on witnesses and the punished alike. 5. Forced confession parades, Ancient Japan. In ancient Japan, criminals were sometimes forced to walk through towns holding signs that listed their crimes. The punishment emphasized public acknowledgement of wrongdoing and social accountability. Citizens were aware of the offense, and the offender's reputation suffered long-term damage. This form of punishment leveraged shame and honor rather than physical force, reinforcing societal rules. In a culture where public reputation was paramount, the forced confession parade was a powerful tool for teaching compliance and deterring crime. 4. Appearance marking punishments, Ancient Middle East and India. In some ancient societies, criminals were physically marked to indicate their crimes. This ensured that even after serving a sentence, the punishment was permanent and visible. The marks served as lifelong reminders of wrongdoing and socially ostracized the individual. Such punishments were often used for theft, betrayal, or dishonor, making rehabilitation difficult. In honor-based cultures, a visible sign of crime could carry consequences longer than imprisonment, demonstrating the lasting power of shame. 3. The Pillory of Laughter, France. In medieval France, minor criminals were placed in pillories in public squares where townspeople and performers mocked them. The punishment was designed to humiliate and entertain simultaneously. Offenders were subjected to ridicule, pointing, and public shaming for hours, sometimes a full day. The pillory relied on psychological stress, social embarrassment, and public spectacle rather than physical injury. It served both as a lesson to the offender and a warning to the community, reinforcing societal norms through collective judgment. 2. Punished by being forgotten. Ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, memory and legacy were vital for the afterlife. Criminals could be sentenced to have their names erased from monuments, records, and inscriptions, effectively removing them from history. Being forgotten meant exclusion from both social life and spiritual continuity. This punishment targeted identity itself, teaching society the consequences of betrayal, theft, or major offenses. Even while alive, the threat of social and historical erasure weighed heavily, making it a uniquely psychological and cultural form of justice. 1. Living as a ghost. Ancient Greece. The most bizarre punishment in history may have been in ancient Greece, where some criminals were treated as if they were already dead. The offender was socially isolated. No one could speak to them, provide food, or acknowledge their existence. While physically alive, they experienced total social death. This form of punishment eliminated all influence, relationships, and recognition, creating extreme psychological pressure. Living as a ghost was a profound warning to others, demonstrating the society's emphasis on honor, obedience, and communal cohesion. These were the top 10 most bizarre punishments in history, from shame and humiliation to complete social death. History shows us that justice has often reflected a society's values, culture, and fears. Which of these punishments shocked you the most? Comment below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Curious History Files, and hit the notification bell for more incredible stories from history.